Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day. On my way to go get it as always, man. I hope y'all doing the same. On the road to 2K. We about to really hit that 1,600 mark, man. I think we only about 15 subscribers away from that 1,600 mark, man. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob for making this possible. All right, y'all, let's talk about some reports that had came out recently. You know what I mean? Like on my channel, if y'all really watch my videos, then y'all would know that I've pretty much been saying this. My source told me this essentially like a month or two ago, that the rematch between Errol, Spence, and Terence Crawford is reportedly off due to, you know, the situation with Errol Spence's eye surgery. And they also, according to that source, there was several other reasons that played a factor into why this rematch isn't happening. Now, from what I've gathered, from the information that I've gathered and done research on, it seems like the other factors seem to include the time expiring on the rematch clause. From what I understand, they're supposed to come out with the rematch by December. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we're in February now. It's February 1st, so that has expired. You know what I mean? But I still think that Terence Crawford was optimistic about making the rematch happen because he was a man of his word. You know what I mean? Just standing on business, you know what I mean? Holding up his integrity. But I think what also played a part in that was PBC not having a network, I guess, stalling with the whole situation with finding a home for the network. You know what I mean? So I think those are the other factors that play into the reason why the rematch is not happening. You feel what I'm saying? So there's that. So let's talk about it, man. The rematch is possibly off. So what could be next for both guys? Let's get into Errol Spence first. You know what I mean? Well, first of all, before he even thinks about coming back from a fight, man, he needs to heal from his injuries, obviously. They said this man had a rib injury, you know what I mean, that he wasn't sparring because of it, and obviously the eye surgery, and that takes a little while to recover from as well. Then on top of that, he has to get cleared from a doctor, and then he has to get in the process of getting into some type of shape or whatever. So there's that. That's going to take some time. He probably won't be making a return to boxing until maybe the middle of the year. You see what I'm saying? Maybe the middle or end of the summer, in all honesty. So let's say he gets through that process. Who's a good opponent for Errol Spence to come back and face? Now, obviously, he'll be at 154 pounds because he's pretty much done with 147. You understand? So obviously, we're not going to talk about any 147 type opponents. So looking at 154, we got Jesus Ramos. That'll be a good fight for Errol Spence. You know, he's not really a fan of tune-ups. So if you want to get straight into the mix and make a statement, man, you could go fight Jesus Ramos, who's one of the most slept-on guys at 154. There's Erickson Lubin. That'll be a good fight. Two southpaws. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if Tim Tszyu is available after the Keith Thurman fight, that'll be a hell of a fight. You see what I'm saying? Shit, if Keith Thurman beats Tim Tszyu, that'll be a good fight if Keith Thurman remains at 154. You feel what I mean? It's just a lot of options for Errol at 154 because the division is jam-packed, man. The winner of Fundora and the Serhi, I'm sorry, man, I can't pronounce his name at all, but the one that Fundora is going to be fighting for the WBC title. You know what I mean? He could possibly go up to 154 and challenge for that title. I could see it happening. I could definitely see it happening due to the fact that Errol Spence is still a draw. He's still a star, and he has a hell of a fan base, and he has some loyal fans that'll be backing him. And we'll be excited to see his debut at 154 pounds. So there's that. Errol Spence has a lot of options that he could pursue at 154. There's a lot of things that he could target. You know what I mean? Even though he may want the Terence Crawford fight, it seems like Terence Crawford is attempting to really do some legacy-defining shit. You see what I mean? So let's get into what Terence Crawford wants to do. Obviously, he said it himself. He's being transparent with y'all. He wants the fight with Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? That's what he's locked in on. That's exactly what he wants to do. And he's really set in on that. He doesn't seem like he wants anything else besides that. I've seen Terence Crawford's team come out and say that they want the Tim Tszyu fight. I think it was Coach Bernie that was saying that. But Tim Tszyu's locked in with Keith Thurman right now. Let's say it's a situation where Keith Thurman beats Tim Tszyu, because that's possible. You know what I mean? Keith Thurman's an extremely skilled guy. experience at a high level. So let's say he beats Tim Tszyu. Keith Thurman has come on the record and said that he's not giving Keith Thurman an opportunity at all due to the fact that Keith Thurman pretty much avoided him when he was coming up at 147 pounds. See what I mean? So maybe that's just maybe that's just the tables turning and Terence Crawford trying to teach Thurman a lesson about, you know what I mean, not giving dudes opportunities. You feel what I'm saying? So we can X that out the equation, and it just seems like he's hell-bent on fighting Canelo Alvarez. Now, I've come on the record and said that this is a fight that I do not want to see. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think that it's an extremely tough uphill battle for Terence Crawford to overcome. I understand he's more skilled than Canelo Alvarez. I understand that maybe at a lower division, maybe 60, he would defeat Canelo Alvarez. I think he has all the tools that it takes to frustrate Canelo Alvarez, style on him, and ultimately just outpoint him. I think that he does. You know what I mean? Terence Crawford is a generational talent, in my opinion. But when you're moving up 3 weight classes from 47 to 68, that is 21 pounds. You see what I'm saying? And this is Canelo Alvarez, who's been set at the weight for a very long time. His punch resistance has shown to be valid at 168 pounds. And we've seen light heavyweights hit this boy clean, and he wouldn't go anywhere. You see what I'm saying? Came up against some of the biggest punches of his era, Triple G. You see, one of the biggest punches in his era, Triple G, Miguel Cotto. Doesn't seem like anybody is able to rock this man. So, granite chin, you know what I mean? Full-fledged 168. Great power. You know what I'm saying? Goes to the body real well and is extremely aggressive. You see what I mean? So, is Terence Crawford going to be able to have the punch resistance necessary to defeat Canelo Alvarez? Because he's going to get hit. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get hit. You see what I'm saying? And he's going to get hit. So is he going to be able to stand up to Canelo's power? Because we've seen Jamel, somebody who was at 154 pounds, that claimed to walk around heavy, get hit by a sharp shot from Canelo Alvarez and had to take a knee to recoup. You see what I mean? So Terence Crawford has been rocked by guys when he was at 135. He's been rocked by guys when he was at 147. So who's to say that Canelo Alvarez isn't capable of rocking him or hurting him or possibly stopping him? That's not a far-fetched thing. You see what I mean? So I think that he's at a serious disadvantage, and I would rather see Terence Crawford do some legacy-defining shit within weight classes that he wouldn't have trouble acclimating to. You see what I'm saying? Like I think that he would dominate the 154-pound division, and on some real shit, it's possible that he could take over the 160-pound division before it's all said and done. You know what I mean? I don't see too many guys in either one of those weight classes that could really give Canelo problems. I mean, like Johnny Beck, you know what I mean? He may be a threat at 160 and shit like that. But regardless, man, like I could really see Terence Crawford dominate at 154 hands down. I don't see anybody in those divisions that could really give him any serious trouble. You know what I mean? We could get into Jerron Ennis at 47, but he's made it clear that Boots don't bring nothing to the table, and that's just not something he's interested in at this particular time. He want the bag. You feel what I mean? But that's pretty much what I wanted to get into with that whole situation, man. I mean, according to these reports, it seems like Terence Crawford gonna get this opportunity anyway. So I'll be rocking with Terence Crawford going into this Canelo fight. But regardless, man, it's not gonna look. I don't think it's gonna be too good for Bud. You know what I mean? And it's sad that, you know what I mean, these boxing fans are so content with just sacrificing these guys over to Canelo Alvarez. Like, you guys be talking shit about Canelo Alvarez and things of that nature, but y'all constantly feeding fighters over to Canelo Alvarez to the point where y'all gonna have to just admit that this dude is great. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all say he a drug cheat. Y'all say that he be picking on these smaller dudes. And when these dudes be at their peak, they be like, oh, why doesn't he just fight Canelo? Why doesn't he just fight Canelo? So you're just handing Canelo over. You're just handing Canelo over to, you're just handing fighters over to Canelo, ultimately just sacrificing them. Just like what PBC is doing. They just sacrificed Jamel. They about to sacrifice Jamal too. He about to beat up on Jamal. And He's about to just take advantage of a guy who's 3 weight classes smaller than him. So that's my take on the whole situation, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. That was pretty much my spiel for the day. I'll be going on live later on tonight. But until then, this is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.